Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank. Tonight we are drinking Dunkin' coffee. If you would like to hit pause on this video, go ahead and do so now. Get your coffee together, whatever beverage you deem necessary. We have a lot to discuss. So, jumping right into it here. The other day I was at Sam's Club and I noticed that there were a lot of empty shelves. Now, I didn't really talk about this too much in the video because I thought at first, well, it's probably got something to do with employees, and it probably still does. But got a lot of comments from you guys, and I wanted to talk about this for tonight's coffee rant because I do believe it may be a bit of an issue. Okay, so a lot of you have chimed in saying that your Sam's Club, it looks about the same. One of you had just gone to Sam's Club the night before you saw the video that I had put out here and saw that there was a lot of things missing, a lot of boxes that were... Now, we're going to go into why this could be, but there's other places that have been hit as well, like Aldi. We got a lot of comments on Aldi being very low on products. Some people were saying that their produce was very low, their meats were very low. We got a comment about a Kroger just up north of here, north of Columbus, one of our viewers. I don't know what to say about this other than we need to make sure that we're preparing. We need to make sure that we're stocking up on things as we see them. Try and find a good deal. Always try to find a good deal. We always try to promote we always try to get everybody to, stock up on the sales as we see them because we don't know what the prices are going to be like next week or even tomorrow. We talk about this all the time. This is part of the reason why. Now, let us know down in the comments now that we're talking about it here. Let us know down in the comments anyone else that has been affected that has been noticing very low shelves, very low products, some different shortages. Whatever you're seeing, make sure you leave down in the comments. If you can, abbreviate your city and state, or just your state. If you're just typing, trying to get through, at least abbreviate your state so that we can help, so that you can help your neighbors maybe get a understanding of what's going on in your town. Because I've noticed some major shortages here over the last couple weeks. Now, I haven't really talked about it, but I assumed that just like normal, things would start coming back in. I saw a lot of low products at Walmart. Sam's Club was absolutely crazy, and Aldi, as to where Aldi is usually pretty packed at ours, it was lower than normal. I went to go check out the spaghetti and all that stuff. That's one that a lot of people have commented on, like the Regano, even some of the Priano spaghetti at your Aldi across the country here has been low or out. Now, ours was lower than normal. It wasn't out, and they did have the Priano, but very low on the Regano, which the Regano is the cheaper brand. And arguably better. I like the Regano spaghetti. We get our spaghetti at Sam's Club. We are well stocked on it. $5.48 for a six-pack of arguably the best pasta for the price. But anyway, going on about Sam's Club for a minute, there were a lot of... Now, our Sam's Club in particular has been dealing with a lot of issues. Okay, they do have employee shortages. There's no denying that. But that looked crazy. It looked like a whirlwind. Now, I know schools are out. I came into Sam's Club on a Monday, which I normally don't do. And it was like ransacked. But it wasn't just that. It was like a lot of the products were so low. Sorry, I gotta have my fan turned on. It's like 80 degrees here. No air in this room unless the door's open. But I keep the door closed for the sound so that you guys can hear me clearly. But if you're wondering what that noise is, it's the fan. I just noticed so many low products. Not completely out, okay, but there were a lot of products that were very low. Very unnatural. Very not normal. Okay, not normal for even our Sam's Club. Even with low employees, it was like there were a lot of people there. They were packed. And if you've seen the video, I actually had called Jessica to see if we needed anything else. I always do that before I leave a store. And I said, are they giving away something here at Sam's Club? What is going on? It was for a Monday. Like I said, I normally don't go on Mondays. Okay, but it was so crowded. it was even hard to find a parking spot there, which I was like, maybe I should go do something else today. But anyway, I was determined. There's a couple things we're going to go over. One, that was a big factor, and I don't know how busy it was the Sunday before. It is the first of the month, okay, so that could have something to do with it too. Yesterday, I went there on the 3rd, which is when a lot of Social Security checks and stuff like that come out. So, and there were people there with full carts. That was good to see. It was good to see. It was good to see that everybody was stocking up, getting what they needed, stuff like that. And I will say that, everybody seemed pretty happy. I mean, it wasn't like it was like all angry, like everybody's upset about the prices, which I see a lot. I had a couple people come up to me and talk to me who knew me from the channel, and they were happy to be at Sam's Club that day, so that was good. But yeah, very low on a lot of stuff. Produce was very low, lower than normal. They had next to none of the clementine mandarins, and the prices on the produce at Sam's keep. Some of these things I feel like should be a lot cheaper, like the watermelons for one. It's pretty expensive for Sam's Club for a watermelon this time of year. Now, as we get into like the end of July, early August, I could see it start going back up, but I'm curious what they're going to be next, because, I mean, they're already like $7 almost for a time when they should be really cheap. So, I don't know. That's a story for another day, but, with Aldi, like I said, not as much noticeable at our Aldi. Got a lot of comments from you guys on your Aldi being low or out of some products. So, do I think this is a concern? I stick to my, let's give it that 2-week thing, okay? Again, we have a lot of things at play here, okay? We have school just let out, okay? Which is a big factor. We have that it's the first of the month, okay? So everybody who's gotten their checks for the first of the month and the third of the month, and throughout here, traditionally the first week of the month is going to be when a lot of people get paid. So we have to take that into consideration. So I never encourage panic buying. There were a couple people that said time to panic buy and stuff like that. First of all, there's never panic buy. I never encourage that on the channel. I never have. As a matter of fact, I haven't even had to say that in a long time. Okay, so no, there's smart buying. Smart buying. That is what we do. That is what we talk about. That's why we go around to the different stores showing all the different deals and stuff like that. So it gives you the quick opportunity to get these deals while they're available, and basically pointing them out as I go along, especially a lot of the ones that you guys always ask about. This ones we use traditionally. This is the ones we always point out, along with the different sales and stuff like that. Now later today, I'm going to Kroger. Did this video early because I wanted to talk about this while it was fresh in my mind, because I'm going to be taking a look at some of the things at Kroger. Because one thing I have noticed at Kroger lately are some inconvenience stickers. Now, it's not like it was a couple years ago, but we're seeing different inconvenience stickers in places. I know some people have been talking about like jams and jellies and stuff like that. I continue to see inconvenience stickers at Kroger on those. I've seen some inconvenience stickers at Kroger on pet food. And we're going to check out pet food today also, because there have been some issues with pet food. There's been some that have been on a recall. There's been a lot of recalls lately. I haven't really had the time to kind of go over those. Thank you to our viewers who have been putting what happens with the recalls in the comments. I do appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people do. There has been a recall on cucumbers that we went over the other day. There's an ongoing recall with baby formula, some baby formula. But check the FDA website. Check these websites out. One that we always read from is either Newsweek or USA Today. And also something to keep in mind too, anything that is, anything that is on a recall with pet food, these places are going to get rid of. And one that you can trust is Chewy.com. Okay, Chewy.com, a lot of our viewers, I don't think we've ever had a complaint about Chewy.com. There's been issues, but people have gotten their money back because of that. Maybe there was some dented cans or something like that in the past. Every place you order from, there's always going to be that one time, right? But the deals far outweigh the headache of having to return something. Now if it was every time, then we would be talking about this more. But we have thousands of viewers on the channel who use Chewy.com, so I can safely say that they're pretty good. They're pretty good. And somebody did respond to me in an email saying the $49 does get you free shipping if you're in their service area, but you also want to make sure to check out different deals and promotions that Chewy.com has going on where you can save even more money. So, do I think the empty shelf situation is a situation right now? What I was starting to say before is that I don't think so. Okay, I don't think so. I don't think there's any reason to hit the alert button yet. Okay, we got to give it that second week. Now, if in the second week we start seeing things more like we did a couple years ago, we're seeing big gaping holes that aren't returning, and we see more inconvenience stickers pop up and all that stuff, yeah, it might be time to get to the store and buy up a couple of things, at least of the stuff that you use. And at that point, it becomes not worrying too much about the price and just getting what you need. Okay, now, if this becomes a more ongoing issue, I try to stay on top of this as much as I can because I don't want us to end up where we were a couple years ago where there was just, not saying there was nothing, but I mean, it was like, you guys remember, if you've been here for a long time, me going to all these stores and it was like, things were empty. I mean, we were going to Walgreens to get like canned goods and different things. It was like they were just empty of things at like Kroger and Meijer and Walmart even. All these places, even Aldi. It was like, there was a time there where this stuff disappeared for a while, and it was hard to find. We were going from store to store trying to find stuff that you guys were commenting on. We even went to PetSmart, and PetSmart was out of pet food. Not all of it, but the ones everybody was into, the cheaper ones, Friskies, Fancy Feast, all of these, they were out of it. The only ones they had were like big, huge packs, and they were way overpriced. You could get it cheaper at Kroger, which was ridiculous. I mean, it was crazy times. But the reason why I'm talking about this today is so that you're just aware. I don't want anybody to freak out or panic or anything like that, but got a lot of comments the other day when I was talking about these things at Sam's Club. Now, another thing with Sam's Club is the one that I particularly shop at has had multiple issues with employees. And I know I talked about this before, but when I was showing the bread and stuff, or the lack thereof at the beginning, and very little, if you notice, very little pastries, very little things that are made in-house, that's employee issues. So, like I said, I don't think the whole thing with Sam's Club is something to worry about yet. Now, if I go there in a couple weeks and it looks the same or worse, then there might be an issue. But I may be going to a different Sam's Club because I want to go to a Sam's Club where they have a lot of stuff. For whatever reason, they're not able to keep a lot of employees at the Sam's Club we go to. They have just enough to make it work. And honestly, for me, myself, most of the stuff I shop for, they have. But I want to make sure that we're checking out all the different things that we get comments on. And yeah, our Sam's Club has looked pretty low. I don't want to say empty because it's not empty. They have a lot of the other stuff. But a lot of the snacky things, crackers, stuff like that was very low too. The video was already really long, so I had to cut some of the stuff out of the video. But a lot of the crackers and candies and stuff like that, those were very low too. So I don't know. I mean, I after a while, I would think to myself, well, I hope they're not closing down, knock on wood. But I mean, it kind of had that feel the other day. And I was like, oh, I hope it's not. I'd hate to drive. Because the next nearest one closest to me is about 45 minutes to an hour drive. So that's long. Then all of a sudden, Costco doesn't look so far or so bad. Now, we go to Costco too. I haven't noticed any issues at Costco, but it's been a few weeks since I've been to Costco. But again, let us know down in the comments if you've been noticing any low stock. I don't want to say shortages because, I think people take, when I say shortages, I mean, this stuff's not coming in. Is it gone? Is it not coming back in forever? No, it will eventually. But, it's like the shortages that we're seeing, the ones that I consider important are the ones that you are talking about. Because, like, if you live in Arizona somewhere and you have no, let's say, Campbell's soup. It's just an example, okay? Say there's no Campbell's soup, or very low, very not coming in, right? Inconvenience stickers everywhere. And then I go to Kroger here in Cincinnati, and I see the same thing, we know it's an issue. We know that, okay, this is happening all over the country. And it's usually not just one. Usually there'll be like several people from all over the country. I used to have a map. When I first started doing this, I was getting myself confused and all this stuff, and I was dotting out things where things were missing. Things in Kentucky, things in Indiana, things in Ohio, right? I tried to keep it local, and then all of a sudden our channel started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we were spreading out from east to west coast and everywhere in between. And it was like, it was getting too hard to do the map thing. So, kind of just narrowed it down into, let's just talk about what things, because it was all the same things. It was all the same things that were low or out. If we start seeing a shortage of Cottonelle toilet paper here in Cincinnati, okay, not saying it is, this is an example, then chances are you're going to see it low in Kentucky, Indiana, everywhere where the main veins of the highways, like 75, I-75, you have 74, right? Go through Indiana, right? You have 70 just up north by Dayton, right? It's like, well, usually when we see something here, we'll see something there too, because they have just gotten the truck through, and whatever it was, we didn't get the truck. Or vice versa, or if it's coming from east to west. But hopefully you catch my drift in this, because these are the trends that we see. If somebody out in Bloomington, Indiana says, we're out of Cottonelle toilet paper, get ready, then I know that when I go to Kroger or Meijer or anywhere else, it's going to be very low. Unless they have a huge overstock in the back, which some stores do, it's going to be very low. But some places are aware of this right away, and some places do a good job of filling in those holes. Like, I've seen Kroger before when they weren't getting the Quilted Northern, when Quilted Northern went away for a while, while they made their adjustments, shrunk it in size or whatever they were doing. Excuse me. Kroger would fill up that big gaping hole with their own toilet paper or with whatever they had, right? So it looks like, you would look at it and you're like, you wouldn't really notice a difference unless you're a diehard Quilted Northern toilet paper user. Oh, that coffee's good. Good coffee. So, yep, planning the trip to Kroger. So we're going to check out some of these things. Going to focus mostly on the sales. Just wanted to talk about this for a little while today, because we got a lot of comments the other day on a lot of different shortages in some of your stores across the country. And I thought it was important that we go ahead, discuss it now, get it out there, right? Get it out there so you guys know that a lot of our viewers have talked about these different things between Sam's Club and Aldi. Somebody had mentioned BJ's Wholesale. BJ's Wholesale. Never been to a BJ's Wholesale. I'd like to visit one someday, but somebody mentioned that they were low on a lot of their products too. Things that you normally buy. We'll see. We'll see. Could this all be a coincidence? It can. And it could all play into the fact that the things that we talked about before, first of the month, school, employee shortages. Really, I mean, that could be bigger than what we know. I mean, we've been dealing with employee shortages ever since 2020, and then 2021, 2022 seemed to be the worst year so far. And now it's like places are, it's like when you say leveling out, like, are places not paying enough? I mean, I know a lot of people who left their jobs and went to Amazon, because Amazon is right across the river in Kentucky here, and they're paying like $10, $15 more an hour than what most places are paying around here. So I'm not surprised. We've talked about this before, but look at all the different, back a few years ago when everything was going on, bartenders, waiters, waitresses, these kind of jobs people didn't have. They had to do something else. They went to Amazon or DHL or somewhere, and now they're paying really good money. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I'd have done the same daggone thing. But anyway, we continue to deal with these issues. And from what I understand, Sam's Club pays pretty good. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe they're just, I don't know. You always hear that these places are hiring. And then when it comes down to it, it's like, well, okay, you have all these applications. Is there really that many people that have applied for this that you don't want to hire? I don't know. I don't know about that. But, some of these places, I think they have to have like a ledger of people that are, trying to get a job. Like, that's one thing. When you have 1,000 different applications, you can really handpick the one that you want. You know, and I know that's not fair, but I bet a lot of these stores are doing this. I think a lot of these stores today kind of have to do this, because you don't want to hire somebody and then the turnaround be like, yo, okay, well, I'm gone. You know, I'm leaving. You know, because for one, that's an awful lot of work for the company to hire you on. And it may or may not be. I don't really know. For a company that's established, like Kroger or Sam's Club, places like this, it's probably pretty easy for them. Probably. Like, I don't know for sure. But it's a lot of work. You're taking management away from something else they could be doing for a day. You know, you're doing a lot of things to get that person hired, even if it's just time. Okay? But definitely employee shortages at our Sam's Club. Somebody said it looked like there was very few employees at your Aldi. I will say this, any Aldi that I've ever been into, it always seems like there's a good amount of employees. Now, is it on the level as of like Trader Joe's? Absolutely not. Trader Joe's, they have so many, and they get paid good too. Trader Joe's, they have like employees everywhere. There's like 3 employees for every aisle. I mean, it's awesome. And they're always so nice. They're always so nice. Any Trader Joe's I've ever been to, from here to Florida, I mean, every Trader Joe's I've ever been to, everybody's been really nice. You know, so, you know, either their training staff is amazing. They probably have strict rules. It is customer first everything. If a customer looks confused, and I'm just going based on my experience, but if I'm just thinking of something, somebody's coming up to me, like, can I help you? Do we not have one? Let me check the back for you. Like, you don't even have a chance to say, could you check the back for me? You know, hey, let me, does this sound familiar? You're in the grocery store, you're like, man, I was really wanting this. I know they probably don't have it, but I want to ask somebody to see if they have it in the back. And then you ask somebody and they're like, oh, no, it's probably out on the floor. It's probably? How many of you get that? And then it's like, it's not that, it's that they don't want to go look for it, right? They don't want to go look for it. They don't want to do anything outside of their, you know, nobody, and I don't mean nobody, but, you know, you have a lot of people that aren't about customer service anymore. It's like, look, you're getting paid the same amount whether you're putting this stuff away or whether you're going in the back. I'm giving you the opportunity to get yourself a little break, right, away from this, so you can go check to see if you have the sauce that I'm looking for or something, you know? And I know this happens to everybody, but anyway, that was the one thing I love about Trader Joe's, is that they don't even give you the opportunity to say that, right? They're already back there. They know. Well, no, and I'm sure they have everything filed nice. I'm sure a lot of places, their back rooms don't, you know, a lot of the stuff's probably not organized like Trader Joe's. I don't even know if Trader Joe's stuff is organized. They may just know where it all is. Not a very big store, too. It's like Kroger, yeah, that's probably a massive back room there where you got to search for things. So, but you always have, I'm not saying everybody, though. There's times where I've asked, they're like, sure, yeah, I'll go check. You know, I mean, so it's not everybody, but a lot of the times, it seems like the time that you really want something, that's the time where it's hard to find somebody that actually wants to go back and check for you. But anyway, guys, something we need to pay attention to. Do I think it's an issue? Not yet. Like I said, we need to give it that second week. Let us know, you know, if you were one of the ones that had commented on some of the different shortages in your stores, make sure you let us know the second week. Let us know next week. Now, some of you may not be going back to the store next week, and that's fine. Just the next time you go. But I'll keep an eye out on it, because it is interesting that so many people have commented on these things, and especially we got like 4 or 5 comments from Sam's Club. Somebody sent me an email too of a couple photographs, you know, and it kind of looked like ours. It kind of looked like our store, but you know, I don't really know. I don't know at this point. I will say the same thing I always do. Stock up on the sales as you see them. Don't panic buy. There's no reason to panic buy at any time. Okay? Smart buy. Smart buy. Buy a little here and there as you go along. It's never too harmful to have a little bit extra. You find that sale, but if it's something you use a lot, especially, buy a little extra. Knowing that you're going to save in the future, because these prices ain't going down, guys. They are not coming down. There are sales. There are good summer sales like there always are. Okay. But are these prices coming down to stay? Absolutely not. Are there some good deals right now? Absolutely. Buy them up. You know? Buy them up. You know, Aldi has a lot of good Aldi Saver deals going on. They've dropped some of their regular prices. Hopefully, knock on wood, they stay down for a while. Okay, there's no real given time. I'm assuming it'll go through the summer, though. So, kind of like what we saw last year. Walmart has had some decent rollback offers that a lot of people have talked about. Not really stuff I buy, but, you know, things that people have been talking about on the channel. And Kroger. Kroger, you know, they always have their different deals going on. They always have some kind of sale going on, plus their digital coupons. It may not be exactly what you want this week, but that's why we do this all the time, so we can check out all the different products. I always try to keep in mind the things that people are asking about on the channel so that when I see them on sale, I can point them out to you. Guys, thank you so much for watching the Coffee Rant tonight. Have a great night.